Okay, let's have a go at Seneca. Seneca Minora. 213, Balbinus, who is an optimist. He's one of the greatest of mans, and he's perfected, so he's very good in Ganarays of all literature, which rarely happens. He's one of the few rare people who's very perfected in all types of literature. He's the author or authority. When himself was prefect, who had obtained Egypt, so he was the prefect of Egypt. This osteo of the Nile, this mouth of the Nile, called the Herioclotus, which is the Maximus. So it's the biggest mouth of the Nile. It looks like he saw a spectacle, which was an occurrence of dolphins from the sea and crocodiles from the river, adverse against each other, agmen to agmen, column against columns of dolphins versus crocodiles. I'm guessing here we are, as if two parts of a battle. Okay, so I'm guessing crocodiles would win that because dolphins don't really kill things. The crocodiles by the placid animals were devictos, were beaten. Okay, so the crocodiles were beaten by the dolphins, even though they had innoxious type of morsu, biting, so a harmless type of biting that beat them in 214. For the superior parts of the body, which is dura and impenetrable, so that it's got hard and impenetrable upper parts of the crocodiles, which even the teeth of maiorum animals, of larger animals, it's impenetrable too, even of large animals. Here's our contrasting thing, but the inferior, contrasted to the superior, the lower part of a crocodile, it's mollus and tenera, so it's soft and tender. Hank, usually accusative. Dolphins, plural, so plural dolphins with their spines. I don't know if he really knows what dolphins are. Do they actually have spines? Which they garant, sticking out from their dorsal. So they bear these spines which stick out from their backs. They vulnerabated, they wounded the crocodiles from under the water, submersi, and relying on this adverse them, they divide about them. So they're wounding and harming these crocodiles in this way, ablative absolute. So with many of these crocodiles scissored, they've been scissored opened, so they're all cut open. The keterae of the crocodiles, the rest as if fleeing backwards in their battle formations. So fugax, so fleeing was the animal, which is neuter. It's a very bold type of animal. It's fleeing from the timid animal, basically. It's the most boldest of neuter animals, these crocodiles. 215, nec illos, it's in the accusative. Accusatives don't usually take verbs, but anyway. Neither of those of the Tenterian race do they overcome crocodiles. So the illos must be crocodiles. Neither do they overcome the crocodiles, these people of this race, by anything of their own blood, appropriate to their own blood, anything that's special in their own bloodlines or of their race, but they do it by contempt and rashness. So they don't fear the crocodiles and they rashly take them on. Ultra can mean of their own accord or beyond that. So besides this, in sequa, they follow the fleeing accusative present participle crocodiles, and having ablative absoluted a noose on them, they've injected a noose onto these crocodiles, they charhunt them, which is dragging them. Pleriqui means a lot of people perish doing this, I'm not surprised. By which these who are less present in their courage, in the persecuting and the following of the crocodiles, those who aren't so bold tend to die. 216, the Nile, Nilum here, sometimes aliquando detulicit, it carries marine water, seawater, even though the Nile's a freshwater, it must draw back something from the sea where it mixes in and all these ostiums. Theophrastus sounds Greek, he's the authority for this. Biennio means 2 years continuously, with Cleopatra ruling. That's a adverb, the rest are ablative absolute sort of things. The Nile did not ascend, which means rising, so for 2 years it didn't. This was in the 10th anno, in the 10th year, and the 11th year of the reign of this aforesaid Cleopatra. It's constated, it's agreed. They say, these people who are agreeing, I guess, or the Egyptians, this signifies a defection of two potencies, two rulers of things. Defections also when you get eclipses, but it just means something bad's happened. So there's going to be a loss of two great leaders, maybe. And 4. Okay, these people lost power. We've got them in the genitives. For this was a loss of imperium for Antony and Cleopatra. I think Shakespeare wrote something about them. Per novem annos, through 9 years, the Nile did not ascend. In earlier eras, Superibus Saculis, and the authority on this is Callimachus. 17. But now, to inspecting the causes or reasons on account of which, in summer, the Nile crescats, increases. I'll go up to, and I'll begin from the most antiquissimus, most superlative of the olds. Anaxagoras says, from the ridges of Ethiopia, the loose snow or melted snow, Bk4a runs down usque ad Nilem, as far as the Nile. In the same opinion, all the Vetustus authors, all the old authors, these are this bloke, Sophocles and Euripides, they all tradunt this, they all say this, or hand it down. But this is false, openly, with many arguments or reasons why. 218. Primo. In the first place, where's a nominatives? The burnt colour of the men indicates that Ethiopia is very fervent, very hot. And the troglodytes, which have their houses subterranean, underground, so troglodytes live in caves. The saxes, the rocks, as if they are fervescented, they are heated up in a fire, not only in the middle, but also with the day inclining or coming to a close. Middle of the day in the afternoons, it's also hot. Ardens pulvis, burning hot, dusty sand, Patiens doesn't suffer any human footprints, or you can invert and say human footprints, and you could pluralize that. Can't stand the burning dust. Argentum silver is unleaded. It's the soldering melts. The coagumentums, the coagulates of statues, whatever that is, that becomes loosened as well. I guess there's cement that holds statues, can't stand the heat. There is nothing of material remaining which superadorns, which is an operamentum, which is a covering over the outside of, I guess, statues again. Anything that's made, basically, no material can stand the heat that you adorn things with. Okay, daily dictionary time, which I just paused and googled. Superadornus isn't over the top of, it just means additionally adorned, further adorned, additionally ornamented. They probably check Lewis and Short, maybe it does just mean covering normal things. Anyway, the Auster, it's a wind, south wind also, which Vanets, it comes from this tract of land, is the caldissimus of winds. It's the hottest wind. Null from these animals, which latent in Bruma, which lay hidden in winter. None of them ever reconditor themselves, none of them ever hibernate. Even through the winters, the serpent, which is a snake, so snakes are in the open and on top of the ground, so they don't go into their holes. There's this locative at Alexandria also, which is far from any moderate sort of calor or heat, where it's posited or placed, where Alexandria is. The snow does not cadont in Alexandria, and Superior into the Upper Egypt from that would be Carenting, lacking pluvia, rain. End of the day.